Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, Cynicalex. And today I want to talk about Red Guardian because I sort of transcended him and I awakened his potential on impulse from a few good reviews from a few players that I talked to about him that have him built up. And I overall have been kind of disappointed in my investment, so I want to warn you about it. But I also want to give Red Guardian a fair try, and maybe from what you see of Red Guardian and what I think his potential could be, maybe that's enough for you to invest in him. But it's primarily for me a warning, because if you ask me if I could take my resources back, personally, I probably would. Now, I can say that confidently right now because Red Guardian is not used a lot in either the Dimensional Clash difficult alternate mode or the All War alternate ultimate mode. But if he is in the next rotation, then I might want to have him awakened anyway. So I can only speak to his value right now in the game. And right now his value in the game is not very high. And I'm going to be using Amadeus Cho to compare to him in both PvE and PvP to make my point, to illustrate my point. So let me just go over their builds very quickly. And it's going to be quick because their builds are almost identical. It's hilarious. So I've got a rank 450 Cho with 35,600 physical attack and 46,000 HP. Now, I'm not doing any trickery. When I switch over to Red Guardian, I'm rank 500 and change with 35,000 physical attack and 47,000 HP. So if you go back and forth between their stats, they're almost identical. And I didn't do that on purpose. It's just how it ended up being. So it'll be really interesting to see how these characters actually differ, because they have a lot in common. As for the CTP, they both got a CTP of energy. Cho's is 200, while Red Guardian's is a 180. They both have Power of Angry Hulk. His is a stage 7. Cho's is a stage 6. They both have mythic uniforms, and both of their uniforms are rolled for dodge, physical attack, ignore defense, dodge, and then physical attack. That's right, I also rolled their, well, his is all attack, but it's the same as physical attack. So I built these characters at different times, and yet I built them essentially identically. Okay, cool. What else? So the Uru is a little bit different here. We did all physical attack, attack speed, and crit rate on Cho. And then for Red Guardian, I did crit rate, a lot more crit rate, no attack speed, a little bit of cooldown, and then physical attack. And I'm missing some slots there, but you know, it's fairly similar. And then of course their gears are 25, etc. So what really makes them different? If all of these things are essentially the same, their stats are the same, what makes these two characters different? Oh, the sun's going down. Okay, so here's what makes these two characters different, and this is the interesting thing here. Red Guardian only has minus 50 all defense down on his ultimate ability, and his regular all defense down on heroic strike is only 45%. So 45 and 50 are his caps, whereas Cho is minus 60 there and minus 60 there. So not only is it the same percentage, which helps, but it's also much higher, right? 50 versus 60 is a big difference. And so Cho is able to stack 10% more than Red Guardian is, without even using his awakened ability. That's a big difference. What else is different? Well, his accumulations, by the way, they both have accumulation. His accumulation on his third skill is just accumulation with immunity and increased attack. His accumulation is a self buff, a 25-25 with 15% crit rate for 13 seconds, and then the immunity and the accumulation. So he gets another 25% all attack and a 15% crit rate, which means that his soft cap for crit rate is actually 60%. So that makes him easier to cap. What else is different about them? Cho has a very good passive with super armor, all defense, and 25% crit damage. Red Guardian has the same passive except no crit damage. Nice. Seems like Red Guardian is the discount Amadeus Cho. Okay, so where exactly, if it's not on his passive, if it's not on his accumulation, oh, what about his tier 2 passive? His tier 2 passive, ignore dodge and skill damage bonus damage. That's pretty good. Let's take a look at Cho. Ignore dodge, guaranteed crit rate, skill damage, bonus damage. So literally Cho is the better version of Red Guardian. And by the way, they both require paywall characters to be transcended. He needs Yelena, he needs Luna Snow. So I ask again, what possible universe does Red Guardian actually have something over on Amadeus Cho? Well, there is one thing, on his 5th skill. That's right. I mean, his leadership's better. Cho's leadership is really bad, and his leadership is actually quite good. All heroes get 35% HP. But the one thing that Red Guardian does better is that they both have full iframe 5th skills, But Red Guardian's full iframe 5th skill not only gives him a buff, a 40% attack buff for 10 seconds, so he does get the buff back, but he gets 75% ignore dodge, and he gets 75% penetration. Cho, on the other hand, gets none of those things. I mean, well, he gets a buff. He gets a 30% attack buff for 8 seconds, and he decreases his damage received, and he has paralysis and fracture, but he has a heal, but he does not have penetration anywhere. So the penetration, to me, makes Red Guardian more suited for PvP than PvE. Okay, so now let's go take them into some PvE and PvP action so you can see how they fare. We're going to go get up against the stage 70 Proxima. We're going to start off with Red Guardian. The same team up here. This team up does benefit Amadeus Cho a little bit more because he has higher base all defense down, but in general, all defense down is king or queen in World Boss, so I don't think giving him like Nick Fury's leadership instead of White Fox is actually going to do him any favors. I don't actually think it's going to help him. So yeah, let's check it out here. We're just going to see how long it takes him to get down to 7 bars. So we're going to buff with the 3rd skill and then pop the 6 here. The 6 has some nice tracking, so you do get some decent damage stacking up there. We're going to pop the 3, pop the 5. He's got a nice long iframe on 5. He gets some nice chain hit damage. Now, the really nice thing about Red Guardian, unlike Cho, is that because he's got a long iframe on 5 and because he's got the immunity on 3 with a very short cooldown, what that basically means is that you almost never get hit. You almost never get hit and you almost never take any damage. He's also got an iframe on 2. But yeah, basically Red Guardian is, you know, extremely tanky. You know, long iframe on 5, iframe on 2, and then very short cooldown on 3 with 6 seconds of immunity. Cho, what they did for Cho is he's got like 6 seconds of immunity with a 7-second cooldown. So you can sort of do the math on how good that is, right? What they did for Cho is to sort of nerf Cho, or to make Cho a little bit more fair, is they made his immunity skill still 6 sevens or 7 seconds, but they made it like a 25-second cooldown, right? So they want you to sort of feel the pressure of playing as Cho a little bit more. And this damage is pretty good. It's quite good, actually. There we accidentally procced on 5. I made a little mistake here. I'm kind of misplaying. But, you know, they make the damage. It's pretty good. And it's iframe on 5. It's nice. But as you'll see, it's just not as good as another character who basically is the same. So this mirrors pretty closely what I got, which was a minute 30 to get to... Oh, she's doing the spears. Okay, it's about a minute 30 to get down to 7 bars. Trust me on this one. I made a mistake with one of my rotations, otherwise we would have gotten it. So now let's just sub in Cho. We're not going to change anything else about this team up or situation. Where is Cho? There he is. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to sub in Cho. And I want you to tell me, well, I want you to tell me. Check it out. Check out the difference between these two characters. Obviously, their playstyle is different. I'm not saying, well, I am saying one is better than the other. But yeah, check it out. Here we go. So we're going to pop 3 into 6. Pretty much the same opening as Red Guardian. Oh, okay, great. So we got a little bit lucky there with Proxima not moving and basically absorbing the entirety of the skill. But as you can see there, that was 20 seconds. That's actually the fastest I've ever done it before. I was actually shocked. But yeah, you can see how insane Cho's damage is compared to Red Guardian. The main problem for PvE is that his all defense down is one, not high enough. Minus 50% just doesn't cut it compared to some of these other characters that can go to minus 60 or higher. And then even a small difference of 10% is amplified more because 10% becomes 14% because of White Fox's leadership, right? So he's not actually 10% ahead. He's 14% ahead, right? So you can sort of see how that... it's actually more than 14% because 50 times 1.4 is, I believe, 70. And then 60 times 1.4 is 84. No, okay, it is exactly 14. Okay, the math is the same. Anyways... yeah, so that's a minute 30 versus 20 seconds. You tell me which one's better. Obviously, Cho is better. That was the best case scenario. That was crazy damage. I think I might give Cho a rage because he's just such a baller and a badass. But that was with a CTP of energy, right? So now you're like, okay, fine, all right. So Red Guardian's Awaken skill doesn't do that much damage. It's also not an iframe, which is terrible. Whereas Cho's Awaken skill is an iframe, so the boss doesn't move as much. Okay, you said he had penetration. I mean, 75% penetration is really good, and he penetrates everything: immunity, invincibility, barrier, shield. He doesn't penetrate super armor. That's the only thing. But you know, he's got 75% chance penetration, and it's a full iframe, so you don't get reflected. Okay, so let's see him in PvP. So let's go ahead and check him out in PvP. So we'll go ahead with Cho first. Again, Cho is not good in PvP. I'm not trying to make this into like a Cho is good for PvP type thing here, but we're gonna try against this. This guy has a Thanos leadership, so this is a little bit more interesting than your Silver Surfer leaderships because, you know, I think people are tired of Silver Surfer at the moment. But let's see here. Cho is not going to impress you in PvP, but I also want to just illustrate the fact that there honestly isn't that much of a difference. Okay, we're actually gonna be in a bit of trouble here. We're gonna do 3, and then we're gonna do 5, and it's just a full iframe. Okay, cool. But now here's where he's in trouble. He doesn't have any other iframes, and he's just going to die. So when you don't have the 5th skill iframe up, you're dead. And because when you don't have the 5th skill iframe available as Cho, you're dead. Because 4's iframe is at the end of the skill, and you're not going to be able... basically, if you start a skill that's not an iframe in PvP, you're going to get interrupted before that skill gets to the iframe part, right? And his 3rd skill, where he could have some protection from damage, has like a 25-second cooldown. So if you cast it, good luck, right? I cast the analysis attack, 26 seconds. I'm not casting that. 13 seconds? You think I can survive against Thanos and Jean Grey for 13 seconds? You're out of your mind, right? So his skills just don't benefit from PvP, or his skills just don't translate well into PvP. And I don't want to go back and forth and show you multiple battles. It's just, I would be shocked if someone made Cho work for PvP. I would be very shocked. So now let's check out Red Guardian, who's, you know, similar playstyle, but the 3 is on a 15-second cooldown, okay? And not only that, but his 5th skill is on a 15-second cooldown as well. So very, very short cooldowns for my main man, Red Guardian. And he can impress you. He can impress you in PvP. It's just the problem is PvP right now just doesn't have any space for a guy like Red Guardian, right? There's just nowhere in the game for a guy like Red Guardian to do much. So we're going to do... I'm not going to do 3. We're going to do 3 into 5. He's got the penetration. So you see, I killed Thanos because of that penetration. We're going to die here to Jean Grey. Okay, so I'm going to try again against this guy. It's unlucky that Jean Grey started with her 5th skill. It's a little bit out of character for Jean Grey to just open with 5 right away. Usually she does some other BS and then goes into 5. Also, not that many Jean Greys are still using the Blast uniform, so it's a bit unlucky for him. He has the type disadvantage, but Red Guardian is just in a position where he's not tier 3, and he's not a strong enough tier 2 awakened or tier 2 transcended to hang with the tier 3s. If they rework PvP, if they rework timeline battle, and they make a sort of a subset of PvP for these types of characters, you know, he would be very, very good. He could be very, very good. Oh man, I got really unlucky again. It's very annoying. Anywho, he can definitely kill Jean Grey. I mean, he can kill Jean Grey sometimes, I guess I should say. But you can see there he consistently kills Thanos, right? Now, I'm using a CTP of energy, and I'm using Mystique. So I think, my guess is that if I converted him to a full PvP build, i.e. a CTP of Regen or a CTP of Authority, and I took away Mystique for... Maybe even if I kept Mystique, he might not be able to kill Thanos. I'm not sure. So that's the other thing, too, is I'm not sure if he has enough damage without it. On top of the fact that even when you get his awakening skill, like let's say you grind out a win against, let's see if he can kill Thanos. So he can't kill Thanos without the 3rd skill buff. And then I just got destroyed there. I'm getting guard broken like crazy because all I have is super armor. Yeah, okay. So that was my mistake for not doing 3 into 5. So you can, like, he's not, like, best case scenario, he's not very good, right? He's not nearly as consistent as Red Skull. And Red Skull has his issues as well, and you know, struggles as well, and can't do villains. He can only fight against heroes. So it's kind of just unfortunate. Obviously, from looking and seeing these two characters and comparing them side by side, and it's so easy to do that, right? You can see that they're very, very similar characters. There's so much in common, but Amadeus Cho is clearly built more for PvE, with the one drawback of his very long cooldown on analysis attack. And you know what? The cooldown on his other skills is kind of long too. 20 seconds on teleportation to takedown or teardown, and 16 seconds there. And then on the flip side, Red Guardian has more iframes, shorter cooldowns, and he's got penetration. Lots of iframes, low cooldowns, and penetration is a recipe for a very good PvP character. The problem is the barometer, like what you need to do to be a good PvE character is just hit hard and have a lot of all defense down. There you go. to be a good PvP character, you need so much more than that to be a good PvP character, because the top of the PvP charts are just crowded with these monster characters that have revive and auto reflect and iframe ignore and all this stuff. So I think Red Guardian should have had an auto heal, even if it was just like 3% per second. He really should have had an auto heal. He's tanky enough like Captain America. He should have had a debuff removal like Captain America, right? Where it's like on whatever Captain America's debuff removal is on a 10-second cooldown or whatever. But he definitely needed some sort of other rework to it's this one right here, heroism. He definitely needed some sort of other rework or some sort of other buff to make him better for PvP than he is, and he just can't hang with the big boys. The last big difference between them is their uniform options, or the uniform effect, sorry. His uniform effect is just 25% damage reduction. His uniform effect is the increased crit damage, which is huge for PvE and for that crazy spike damage. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Red Guardian, but this is sort of my comparison of the two, but it's mostly about Red Guardian, but Cho is just a way better version of Red Guardian, and they basically cost the same, so why wouldn't you just go for the better version? But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will be putting out an Awakened character ranking video soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.